good morning. It's weird. I'm not seeing that I'm live on Firefox, but in Chrome it shows that I'm live. I'm not seeing that I'm live. Really odd. Oh well, as long as it works. So, throw me some topics. Let's get it going. There we go. Elevator music off. Do you see the screen? For me in Firefox it's just offline. But I checked in Chrome and it was showing the stream, so Vampire Hunter. Black Swan. That's really weird. I'll refresh the chat window as well, see if it makes any more sense. Now it works. Alright, maybe we don't have enough people for topics. It was Black Swan and Vampire Hunter. We can divide the dice in two. So, I don't know what's happening with Twitch. So, whatever topic you have, Blue Rib is oh, Tormund. Space Private Investigator. Right. Rhino Mech. Alright, let's throw. We have 4 topics. It's number 4. It rolled, so it can't be flipped. So it was actually rolling on the table. So number 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Rhino Mech. Rhino Mech by Lou Rib. Okay. Really weird. Anyways, let's get going. Timer starts. Rhino Mech. Okay. Mechanized Rhino. Let's make it fantasy. Just to throw a, what's it called? What's it called? Some extra spice into the mix. And actually, let's give it a little bit more feel of 3D. I have a tendency to just do production art related poses. Let's try to make it a little bit more. A little bit more. Yeah. So I tried this game, um, Titanfall 2, yesterday. Not my kind of game for some odd reason. Just I didn't give it a proper chance though. To be fair, um, I kind of just played it for a bit and went nah. But maybe I just need to give it a second chance, like a proper playthrough. I didn't do it like any tutorial or anything. I just kind of threw myself into the game. Hey, George Wiley, Dearbard, Jordy, Mike, Michael, Tordmont, Lurib, Kuru, Svensson. Um, Welcome. Good morning. So this arm is to go back. Yeah, anyways, Titanfall. I don't know. It was a bit weird. Like, I can see it being more fun when you get into it. But I have to be fair though. All games, when you just jump into it, are never fun. There's a huge amount of confusion. There's always involved when you don't know a new game. It's like it's very like the impressions are random, just randomness. Like, oh, what's this? How does this work? What's that? What does it do? You know, you have to learn the game. Um, and yeah, so the game was a bit. I read this, or I was listening to this interview with this designer, you could say. Now I don't remember the context, like how um, like at what context the interview was, or him talking, if it was even an interview or if it was even a him. I don't remember really. It's a great start of a story. It's a fantastic beginning of a story. Um, Regardless. Uh, so the idea was about like production design, or how humans interact with objects and how we are designing them. And this person gave the best example of a design that doesn't work. We use it like a bazillion amount of times, all day, every day, more or less. And the design is so weird that we have to trial and error to see how it works, and that there isn't really a clean design solution to it. And the problem is doors, right? So when you go to a door, you don't instinctively know to pull or push, right? It's just a knob, and it's like, is it to pull or push to open the door? But it's such an everyday thing that we're always using that we don't know if it's going inwards or outwards. And like, what design solutions can you have to make it read like this door goes inwards. Good morning, Mila. Michal, in that game, it looks pretty cool. It wasn't like anything striking in general. Like it was just what's on the box, you know, some future soldier stuff. Um, it was pretty decent, memorable stuff. I wouldn't. It's hard to remember. Like, can you explain what the characters look like? And trying to explain that to someone, you know, it's not nothing unique. Let's just put it like that. You know, like it's doesn't stand out, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just I think it's a general like premise in art direction and designs and all these things together. Like how can you design something unique when it's such a like not generic theme, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm insulting the people working on the game. I just have a hard time remembering what they actually look like in their own rights, you know, rather than just being a clone of something, you know, like glowing face mask thing, right? The one of the first things that did that was like what's it called? Dead Space. Captain Jetlag, I was talking about Titanfall 2. I just said like they are. It's really hard to remember the characters and designs. I think the mix that they operate, they're pretty unique. Like the whole put the character in the mouth aspect, like the robotic cockpit is like the mouth of the robotic beast, right? So it just eats the players by putting them in the cockpit. So that's kind of unique, you know. You remember that aspect clearly, because that has like a uniqueness to it and you function and all like nicely tied together. And then the player characters is like I don't know, they're just one of thousands of designs you've seen before. It's a really hard thing to make unique. Like how can you design something that has to tick all those boxes and yet still you know, stand apart from all the other people that have tried to do the same. But the same can go for fantasy. You know, how do you separate something from the masses that so it makes it look unique? You know, it's a hard one. I mean, Lord of the Rings obviously succeeded, but then I think possibly the art direction is of a different caliber. You know, Weta and they're renowned. You know, they're really skilled. So I mean, it takes a studio like that to um, design something unique on a topic that's been done bazillion of times as well. You know, so you know, probably just bashing a bit too hard. Michael, yeah. It could be that it's on purpose, generic avatars, but why not just try to like I don't know, it sounds like I'm saying they're not haven't been trying. Of course they've been trying to make unique. unique concepts. Sorry, Titanfall 2 team. It's not meant to sound like you're shit. If you ever hear this, my apologies. It's a cool game. Oh, thanks, Patrick. I try. Just play around. Thanks for coming, by the way. Really glad to have you here. I really love your style, Patrick. It's a really cool style. I'm always surprised that you're yet to work with Pixar. You would be like, or DreamWorks. You would just like seamlessly slot into that team, yet bring some really unique designs in. You should really apply. Like start working on a character portfolio where you know full range of expressions, and then just send it. I'm quite sure that they'll hire you. Okay, halfway. I'm pretty good today. Talking less, I think, or reading less rather, um, and less repainting. Just kind of going along. Yeah, Patri does really cool characters, and his rendering style is like super lush. Fits perfectly into kids' movies and stuff like that. I'm surprised that you're not already working for them. You know, it's such a vivid style, art style. Especially, I think, Patri, when you're having fun and just kind of messing around without pressure, then you're like really nailing some unique stuff. I think that's something also I've been thinking about a lot. It's like the few times where you've like not you but I have felt pressure to perform. I have stiffened up too much, and like trying to nail something that I don't know, some undefinable. Has to be the next level stuff, um, and I always fail. So lately, like this year, um, I've been focusing on just doing me and doing me um, like twice the effort. Not like I have to try to be something that I'm not, but let's say I start sketching something, and I just don't allow that sketch to go further, but I resketch it. You know, so I draw it twice, more or less, to make sure that whatever I'm doing, whatever fun I'm having, I have to make it better. in that sense, you know. Captain Jetlag. Yeah, I knew I would get some comments like that when I said just doing me. Um, I'm sharing your old childish humor. I was kind of giggling about it in my head. So a rhino's mouth is kind of like they have this peak lip, right? Something like that. Let's color dodge this blue. Yeah, so I was getting to what I was getting to is like in order to make something stand out, it's like I realized that like I shouldn't try to be anything other than what I do best when I'm having fun. So I'm just trying to create a process for myself where having fun under pressure, you know, so you don't feel the pressure. So what I usually do recently is like I do the sketch, then I take a step back from the sketch and think about like what is the idea behind it, like what am I trying to say about this sketch, why am I enjoying drawing this, and then I kind of rationalize the design and then like go back over it and further paint on it so it becomes even stronger, instead of trying to save what has already been established. You know, I think that's a big mistake I do personally, is I go with it too much. You know, like, all right, this is what I started, let's just finish it, rather than like do it again and change it completely. And it's the whole thing about like killing your precious, right? Like the same with sketches. Like don't be too careful about what you're doing. Just doesn't matter, you know. Just break the sketch, kill the page. Just explore things, and I think that's where you get fresh ideas and uniqueness. I think, which I think is very visible in your personal art, Patri, when you put something that you're just having fun with. There's like they're so strong. It is so strong. Oh, thanks, Pat. Just having some funs. So I started watching Vikings. They started their new season. Oh man, that show, so good. I love that show. So badass. The costume designs and everything is so good as well. Really impressive. I don't know like how they managed, but they've done such a good job. Like whoever's doing the art direction and like people behind the show, they need to like win an award or something. It's so impressive. yeah, the in general, just the whole thing is so impressive. Like they really they've really done a good job. Dear Bard, what I usually do is like all these movies and so on is I have a huge archive of them. I usually buy, or used to buy at least, movies every week, um, like on these discount boxes, like buy two for 50 or whatever, like these cheap offers. But there's usually always like a couple of good ones in there, right? So I've built this massive library of movies, and uh, I I buy a lot of movies, the good ones and so on. Like my favorites. I always support the good movies that I really enjoy. So I have a huge library of movies. So I always put them on, have them in the background, listen to them, and now and then glance. And for like the TV shows, etc., we have subscriptions and so on. And sometimes when the TV show is not accessible because of regional locks, like American TV shows are not shown in Europe, etc. Of course, you have to do it streaming online. But I always have it like on a second monitor. It's fun. Oh, Westworld is amazing. The finale it's an impressive finale. It's a really good. I love that show. How it makes you think about like life in general. It's crazy. Like Westworld is about artificial intelligence playground. For those who haven't seen it, it's like a Wild West with fully like human-looking robots, and the people going there, they're free to do whatever they want within the world. Shoot up a whole saloon, or you know, go to a brothel, or rob a bank, whatever. And all their AIs, they are not able to hurt a human, but the humans are, if they want to have what's it called, a duel with some Western AI robot guy, they can, you know, have a shoot off. And of course, if the human get hit, it's just like an impact rather than hurting the flesh, But on the AI, they die. So it's a really interesting kind of general um, setup of an interesting story. And then, as the story continues, you start doubting the robotic nature of the AI, and like, are they alive? Because they're so complicated, they're so um, well made, these robots, that what's it called? Uh, the uncanny valley is breached and surpassed. You know, uncanny valley is this term when something is lifelike, but there's something off, and you don't enjoy interacting with it. Like all current robots that we have, like in real world, they're knee deep in uncanny valley. You know, when you look at them, you go like, oh, it looks human, but it isn't. You know, it's called uncanny valley. But the TV show obviously has done beyond that. I mean, it's real actors, not AI. But yeah, it's cool. It's a really well-crafted world and premise. Mm. Oh, thanks, Bjorn. And then, of course, in the show, they I don't want to give spoilers, but there's mysteries and things like that that engages you as a viewer. And of course, the TV show Westworld has Anthony Hopkins in it. How can you go wrong with that? That man is a brilliant actor. Holy shit, he's so good. A big fan of him, actually. I love all his movies that he's in. Even the shit ones he's in. He by default makes the shit ones good. And I don't think in general, like Anthony Hopkins or Sir Anthony Hopkins have done any like big movies. You know, all his movies are in general rather good, but there's better and worse ones. So obviously, but he definitely is a one of a kind. Ed Harris, yeah. Ed Harris is also really good in the TV show. It's like he's such a strong character in that TV show in Westworld. Super impressive. Great character actor. And one of the main characters in the TV show is a female. I wouldn't say I know her from other stuff. I would say for me she's new, like as an actress, but she's really good. This blonde woman. The black woman. There's also another main character, which is a black woman. I've seen her before, and she's a really good actor as well. Actress, but she's doing a good job in this TV show. This one, yeah, the idea is like it's a oh rhino mech. Oh, and time's up. Oh no! All right, that's it. Just add some more sparkles and all right. Thanks everyone for coming. Have a great day. And see you all wonderful people tomorrow. Oh, by the way, something that popped up that I looked really cool is that they're remaking the Oz, you know, with a scarecrow and lion, but it looks really cool. Thanks, man. Have a good day. Good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite. I'm hoping for a weekend stream. I'm hoping for it. Just hoping that no kid is vomiting, and we'll see. I hope to. All right. Bye all. Have a great one. Pig beds. Bed bugs. All right. Bye all.